Okay, here is a quick look on how to use Google Earth. So first thing is you need to download Google Earth, and it needs to be Google Earth Pro. So you'll click here, it will download, and when you open it, it should look like this. If you're on a Chromebook, you won't be able to use this version, and so you have to have this version in order to do the labs. So you can't be using the web browser. You have to download it to your computer and open it up, and this is what it will look like. Then your next step will be to come in here and download a copy of the guided lab. So you'll come in, you'll make a copy, it will save it to your computer. So when you're doing these labs, something to know is that you have this lab sheet that we are working on. Let me go back to that, sorry. With step-by-step, read through it carefully. It will give you lots of helpful tidbits to help you get through it. But labs are supposed to be your chance to have an experience and learn through experience. You can shortcut these, you can find answers on the internet, and you will miss out on the whole reason why you're doing this, and you'll also be cheating if you're doing that. It is, however, okay to go on, and if you're confused on something, so for instance, you have this section here that tells you how to zoom in and zoom out. Different computers and different systems will do it differently. So I was just looking and I couldn't remember how to tilt. So I did go out on Google and I found how to use Google Earth on my computer and how to tilt. That's fine. But if you go out and ask the question that is on the lab, and if it says, how far is it from one place to another, and you go on the internet and you just Google that and you don't do it yourself, that is considered cheating. And there's some places on here that becomes obvious, and if that happens, you will get a 0. And most importantly, you're going to cheat yourself out of an experience. So but what I do want to tell you is that these labs shouldn't take you longer than 2 hours. If they are taking you way longer than that, reach out for help, grab a lab partner. You can do that by going to the announcements and asking, hey, anyone want to do these together? You each will do them, but it's great to have somebody to chat with. To highly encourage that. And then the other thing, actually just lost my train of thought there, so let's just keep moving on. So, I know what I was going to tell you, is that when you do these labs, you will not turn these sheets into me. I don't care if you write the answers down or not. But what you will do is there will be a quiz, and you'll answer the questions on the quiz. You are still required to do this whole lab. That is part of the experience. But go take a look and see which are the most important questions that are going to be asked, and focus your energy there. So, okay, let's go through this one, and let me show you first how to use Google Earth. So on Google Earth, you can use these controllers here to zoom in and zoom out. So this will bring us in closer and come back out. You can just scroll around by doing this as a left click on my mouse and then holding down and moving it. I can rotate around so I'm looking at a different direction by the compass up here on the right hand side. So those are your controls there. And then here at the bottom, this will tell you where you are with your coordinates in north, south, east, and west, cardinal coordinates, and then your elevation. You are definitely going to use this number right here. So what you will do is, if I want to find out the elevation of a spot, I can zoom in, and then I can put my cursor right here, and the elevation of that spot I would read down here, the number here, obviously I can't move. So that spot is at 5,812, and those are your coordinates for that place. You will need to do measurements. So, the other thing I want to show you is, for me to tilt, I look this up and I do shift, and then I drag, with my mouse, and that will tilt it sideways. And so you'll go into tools and do options, and you need a vertical exaggeration here. And I've got it at 3, which would mean that it's very exaggerated. If I go to 0, you'll see that my hills will look a lot flatter. Oh, okay, can't go that far. They will be flat. So let's go back again. Tools, options, and then I'll go to 3. And things will appear. I should have gone in a little bit closer so you could see that exaggeration more. Also helpful if I go, oh, what I did, so let me go in even closer. And then I'll tilt again. Now the mountains, you can see that they look more exaggerated. And if I go down here, do options, and take this down to a smaller number, 0, 1, you need that for your lab on here. You can see how flat they look. Okay, now on the lab, you are going to look at boundaries, and you need a new file for that. So at the start of your lab, it will say plate boundary assignment. You will click it, and it will come, and you'll save it to your computer. Decide wherever it is that you want to save it and where you can find it. Then you can just open it, and as long as your Google Earth is open, obviously mine's having a little bit of tantrum right now. This is actually good for you to see. When this happens, many times it's because your cache is, there's too much in there. So I'm going to clear my cache out, and that usually resolves a lot of the problems. So let me see if now I can open it. So the other way you can open it is go to File, Open. There's my downloads. That's not. It always happens when I'm doing a video. And there you can see now it has opened here. If you want to see one of these layers, you toggle on and off. So you'll see they all go away, toggle it back on, and now you can see. If I want to see the field trip, toggle it on and off. So that's how you can, sometimes if you can't see something, it's because you haven't got it toggled on. You can collapse this down by changing the arrow here. So now you'll see the red are divergent, the blue, this would be these lines here between the red, are transform, and the convergent are the same color as the lines for countries. So just be careful, these are your convergent. So look for the lines that are not going between countries. They're a little bit lighter yellow, but that can be confusing for you. So you can see how you can move around and take a look at those. Okay, let me quickly look back at the lab if there's anything else that you need. It is okay for you, I think I mentioned this, to open up the quiz ahead of time. You can open up multiple times and have it open and be looking at what you need to be focused on. There's the information on the terrain, the toolbar, we've gone through that. To look for names, it is very simple, but here I can put, I live in Thousand Oaks, so I just put in Thousand Oaks, California, hit search, and it will rotate right to you. I can put in Vesuvius. This will get us to Mount Vesuvius if you wanted to go explore. And you will be using Google Earth on just about every lab, so it's important for you to be able to navigate and get around. Okay, one last check. I think we've covered. Let me just mention that you're going to be looking at, so let me zoom back out, continental shelves. And some people get a little bit confused by this, but I want to go way out so you can see. So you can see around Europe that there's this lighter color. This is continental shelf. And so and one of the ways that you can tell that also is by using the elevation. And in this lab, you're going to be looking on those boundaries to see how deep they are. And you're going to use that elevation here. So here would be at the edge of, I think we're Poland there. No. Yeah. I don't know my European geography very well. Anyway, so here we are, and you can see the elevation is at about 37 feet. And if I go here on the continental shelf, it's showing us the depth of the continental shelf. And you can see that the depth hardly drops off. We're only down to 173 feet. All the way out where we're light blue. Now we're down at negative 800. But look as we get down into the trenches. Look how deep it goes. So this is a shallow area of continental crust that is below the surface of the water. And then let me just see coordinates, elevations. We've done that using Google Earth. Let's just go over the measuring tool. So come on back. So up here is a ruler. You will use this in multiple labs. You can do a line, and all you want to, if you want to know the distance from this point here to this point here in a straight line, you just click, and then read the distance here. For your lab, where we're going to look at the distance from through the mountains along a riverbed, you do a path, and you can just do multiple clicks, and it will draw a line between each of those clicks. So it won't be a straight line, it will be a line that connects each of those points. So if you want to be very exact, you put down a bunch of points. So that is how you do distance. Talked about that, talked about continental shelf. So I think that'll give you all that you need to do this lab, explore if you have anything else. And so when you get to the field trip, make sure that you have the right thing clicked. And I think that's it. So if you've got any questions, just let me know. Thanks so much.